people don't like certain types of people, right? This is kind of going around in the news right now. What do you think they call it? Like when you just don't like people that are here in Florida.
It is the worst.
There's just people everywhere, man.
Too many people.
And, you know, we're a tourist state and everything, but I got places to go.
Yeah, I mean,
We almost need like a quick lesson. You know, come on down to Florida. Go ahead and stay in the right lane now. Let us all get where we gotta go, and then you go to the beach, have a good time, and enjoy the weather.
I think we tell everyone to go home.
We want to go home.
Party's over, go home. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm just trying to get somewhere. You know, and it's like, and people asking for directions. I was at Publix and the lady asked me for directions.
Oh, it's on her phone.
That's what I'm saying.
All the directions you need are on your phone.
What do you use the phone for everything else? It's like,
Those are the people I don't like.
yeah. I don't know. This seems like a lot more people. Hey, welcome to the Closing Beat, everybody. How are we doing today? Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to our show. It is called the Closing Beat. The scroller at the bottom is not working. We're going to start that fired back up again, and we'll see how that goes. But this is our stock market update show. We cover the stock market, and I'm happy to be here, man. I tell you, that everybody is sick at home, and so I was happy to get out of the house, man. It's not a good time to have a puppy if everybody's sick and you're the only one to take care of the puppy. Yeah, it's been an active day. Hey, anyways, we're going to cover the stock market. That's what you're here to hear about. And so we'll talk about that here today, share some stuff with you, hopefully teach you something. That's our goal. We're financial advisors that just like to teach. We like to sort of take off the suit and tie. I actually don't think I own a suit and tie. And just make it where it's not intimidating, right? Let's just talk about money, not be scared to share ideas and thoughts and things. We do that with weekly classes for our customers. We call it Wine and Wealth, hanging out in the speakeasy back there. And the last 2 weeks we talked about trading because it's been pretty active. People are trading out there. I know a lot of you do a lot of trading there. But this week we're going to go back to that sort of strategery around your dough. We're going to talk about withdrawal strategies. We're going to use Nest Egg. We'll talk about some of the updates there, and we'll just hang out. Grab a drink. Come with me there on Thursday night, 8 o'clock there. Also, we got a research post. Cody's actually got a research post. Cody, let's go on over there and see what do you got in the research site.
Yeah, I don't know if you noticed or not, but today is the 1-year anniversary of coronavirus low in the market. I don't think anyone's actually talking about
No.
Yeah, I haven't heard it in a long time. So, and since that time, the S&P, NASDAQ, also everyone's killing it since then. So we took a look at with such massive moves going forward, what can we expect historically, at least with the S&P, the NASDAQ, how they performed in the past with such massive moves.
Geeky.
It is geeky.
That's geeky. I like it. Hey, also, we got another one coming up where we're going to be talking about, VIX hit a new low. Before I get into this here, let's go over here to the VIX. So VIX just, yesterday hit a new 52-week low, and we kind of we want to see, does that mean anything? Anytime it hits a new 52-week low, how does the market respond? Is that bullish or bearish? So we're going to look forward with that as well, putting the final touches on that one. And so if you are one of our customers, of course, the research site is free, but if you want to join us, it's $13 a month, and we will, of course, help you out, teach you different things with how to research stocks, areas, and things like that, so that you have ideas of what to do when you're out there trading and we're not here. So something we can help you with. As Cody did say a second ago there, if you heard him or not, it is the 1-year anniversary of the virus low. So happy anniversary there. The average gain for a stock in the S&P is 104%. There's only a handful of stocks that are lower. Guild is one of them, down now, I think, over 10%. Because it lost another 1.5% today. Other than that, it's all good. Before we get into the markets, I want to go over to Gamestop, right? So Gamestop is one of the headline stocks after hours here, and they reported earnings. And for a lot of people, the questions come up. What is this earnings thing? I don't know. I just bought some of this stuff and I want to see what's going on there. And GameStop reports earnings after hours. The big focus, they missed on earnings. Store sales up 6%. Digital sales actually doing really well. The stock is actually lower right now, and I'll bet you, I didn't catch it. I didn't catch it, but I'll bet you they're going to raise money. right? They didn't have a chance to do that because there's a blockout period between earnings a couple weeks out. So they weren't able to do it unless they would release their numbers early. So if you're not familiar with that, when a stock price goes up and a company wants to sell more shares or raise equity if they need to, if it's in their blackout period, they actually have to release their numbers early. So GameStop clearly did not have their numbers ready, in my opinion, because otherwise, why would you not? The stock's trading $200-$300. You got to sell some shares there. I'll bet you anything they mentioned something about selling some shares, and that's probably why the stock's a little bit lower. Currently trading at $176, which is still really, really pricey. I don't get it, guys. Anyways, let's take a look at the markets today. The Russell was your angry index for the day. Russell 2000 losing just over 3%. Doesn't matter. It's one of the better performers. It's up double digits year to date. It's also been less volatile than the NASDAQ and the rest of the markets as well. So maybe that's changing in here. You find that a lot of that comes from the value side of things. Weakness there. Healthcare was your weakest sector inside of the Russell 2000. That contributed about 1/3 of the losses that you see today on the Russell. If we go over to the Dow, just a slight declining day for the Dow and led by just a handful of stocks. We'll look at Boeing first. Continues to pull back. That's a good looking pullback right there if you like that sort of thing. Caterpillar also pulling back and was the biggest decliner, I believe, in the Dow today. And Goldman Sachs was the other big contributor to the Dow being lower today. Boeing, they're raising more dough, right? To be honest with you, they just want to raise more money, and I believe they weren't able to get as much as they like, and that was kind of negative for the stock there. Goldman Sachs, you got the financials pulling back just in general, so that's okay there. Goldman Sachs just being one of the stocks to participate. Here's the financial sector working its way back after being the second best performing sector so far this year. If we look at the S&P 500, it is still up about 4% year to date. Getting a little choppy in here, though. Less consistency than we saw going into the end of the year, and I think it was a more meaningful decline today. And I say that, one, because of the VIX. The VIX finally gave us a little bit of a pop today. It was about a 4.5% gain on the day. Why, right? If it's just a normal decline, a healthy pullback or something, why would the VIX start going up? So it seems like a little bit of protection there. Also, I want to point out a little bit more excitement in the consumer staples. We've been seeing that lately. We talked about this pullback, the one that I got excited about. Well, now that rally, it's not just people making little bets. This is now more of a rotation type play going on with heavier volume and everything. We can get to that in our sector breakdown, which we'll do right now, actually. Let's talk about energy first. There you go. You got yourself a little pullback today. Oil falling 6.75% on the day. This, by the way, this energy pullback, absolutely spot on relative to what we talked about on March 1st. We talked about energy being further and gaining more than it normally does in a 2-month period, and using our research tool, actually in the research portal, we actually showed the forward performance. What happens when it gets so extended like this? Spot on. I love to see that when stats play out there. So really, really cool if you're looking at the sectors today, in particular looking at oil. If we look at all the sectors, which you can also find in our research portal, just kind of a simple page here, but really a lot to go on. You've got utilities at the top of the list. Utilities, the best performing sector out there today, by far, actually, so up 1.5%. So in utilities, we've got this continued decline in rates. And if I look inside utilities, many of them were the leaders today in the S&P 500. So I'm going to sort by performance so you can see some of them here. We'll do the 6-month chart of the utilities, starting to wake up there just a little bit. If you look inside there, you got WEC Energy, Nextera is one of the bigger gainers here today, CMS Energy, also one of the better performers, in Excel. I want to point out Excel. I just kind of like the way this one looked here. We can load up a chart. Coming out of the lows, you got a broken downtrend there and good strength on the day with good volume there. So utilities stick out to me. If we look at consumer staples, I'm going to tease you a little bit. All right, so in consumer staples, you've got some really interesting names here. Like I said, starting to see more rotation rather than just that speculative day-to-day trading there. If you look in our research site, I'm sorry, if you're not a member, I'm not like teasing. If you want to sign up, you sign up. If you don't, it's okay. But we did a post to say, how can you tell where all the stimulus money is going to go? Like what stocks will benefit from that? If you look up the research post just a couple days ago, stocks that will benefit the most from the stimulus. all of the names are on there, right? All the best performers. It's ironic because we sorted them. First, we explained why, and then we sorted them by the stocks that were already up year to date, in case you like momentum, and those that were down, in case you like discounts. You like buying pullbacks there. So I happen to like that. And so by sorting those, every one of those stocks are the better performers than the other stocks in their sector. That's crazy, right? It's not a guess. I love when you can make decisions that's not based on a guess or whatever you're doing with GameStop, but it's actually based on actual research, things that we can look up. So that's what you got going on in consumer staples over there. And I want to take a look over here. REITs. REITs was the other positive sector here today. Over the last month, what I want to do is go inside of REITs. It's sorted off to the left here today. And I want to take a look over the last month because this is more of a stock picker sector right now. REITs as a whole are starting to do better, but the excitement is in the apartment communities, right? So if you're looking inside there, I'll click on Avalon Bay, just the first one I see here. But if you look at that, look over here. The best and most consistent gainers are the names like UDR, right? You've got Avalon Bay right in there. Those are your best performers. Very quickly can you see where's all the excitement if I'm interested in playing the REITs, and that's where you stand. Moving on over to industrials here, we got a nice pullback starting happen. Here's the sector as a whole off to the right. Nice little pullback. Hopefully will continue a little bit more. Today, the weakness, I'll go to the one-day chart. The weakness is going to be in airlines and Boeing, right? So American Airlines, United Airlines, Delta, Alaska Airlines, and Boeing, of course. In the airlines, the larger airlines in particular, you've got issues overseas, right? Germany extending the lockdown over there. I doubt they're going to be the last ones to do that. And so that hurting the airlines, the larger ones in general. And so that's what you have there. All right, we're going to go over to stocks in the news here today, and then we can do the office trades thing if you'd like. So stocks in the news. It actually started off as a pretty light news day and then really picked up quickly. So let's take a look here. AstraZeneca, the U.S. I don't think it was the CDC. I can't remember the health something organization. Anyways, they said, and this was in a report, an article that they released this through, that the data that AstraZeneca released may have been old data and thus not effective in results as pertains to that 79% of efficacy rate, right? Dr. Fauci says the data was likely good and maybe the article was blown out of context. I don't know if we want to say likely. You know what I mean? Like, shouldn't you know that? That's that guy's job. I know a lot of people don't like him right now, but it sounds like he should have been a little bit more on that. And so because there wasn't any clarity there, AstraZeneca down just a little bit on the day because of that. I'm going to just cheer bloody murder here for Viacom. So Viacom is going to raise some money. Smart. I would do the same thing if I were them. They are the best performing stock in the S&P 500, up over 750%. They're going to raise about $3 billion in different ways there, and I don't blame them, right? Stock price is sky high, hits $100. I'm also really excited about that because I'm short the $100 calls, and that should be nice and get me safe there. Almost back to a profit on that trade. So kind of blending into our office trades a little bit. I was super excited about that today when I saw that gap down. Microsoft in the news today. Bloomberg says they are going to buy Discord, $10 billion, right? $10 billion to buy Discord, and that deal in the works. And honestly, $10 billion, from what I read about this, good deal for them and a good acquisition for them to make. So hopefully that deal goes through for Microsoft. That would be good for them. It's not a huge deal it's a big deal, but it's not like they're changing the way they do business. But nice to see for them, and so that's what you have there. You've got Alphabet. They are working on their own chips for their servers. So they hired somebody, I forget his name or who it was or where he came from. They hired somebody to start working on that. I think that's good news there. You've got a stock that otherwise is seen as not really evolving, and what kind of growth can you really get out of it? I don't know. They're not dumb. They're going right for those chip designs, and they're going to make their own, or not make their own chips. They're going to design their own chips. I think that's kind of smart there on their part there. Also, we've got new entrance to the S&P 500 as of yesterday there. Caesars Resorts, which starts its first day here, down about 4 1/3% on the day. You've got Penn National also down in the S&P 500. Loses about 1% or so, a little extended, so I think that's okay. And then Generac, which there we go. Generac, which I don't know if you study individual stocks like I do or whatever, but they're over a year behind on those, you put them on the side of your house or side of a building, the generators, a year. And they're just producing as fast as they can. They have no more room for production. So fascinating, right, actually. But they're in the S&P 500, down about 3% on the day. That's one of the other stocks in the news. I want to point out 10 cent. I only pointed it out because I saw it today, and I know someone mentioned this a few times here. 10 Cent Music, actually. They missed on earnings by a penny, but they said, we actually partnered with Warner Brothers. They got a little bit of a deal going on there, which caused a handful of upgrades, which caused that breakout that you see on the screen to continue there. And to maybe just go around the world real quick, Nintendo, which is, you could trade it, it's a public company. Nintendo is actually working to include augmented reality into their games. Now, I'm a Nintendo guy. I never got into PlayStation, Xbox, or whatever other consoles they are. I'm a Nintendo guy. I grew up with the original Nintendo and Super Nintendo and took it from there. So, ain't nobody holding me back on one of those games. I'll kill you, right? But I think that's awesome. So they're doing that there. And what else do we have? JetBlue, Viacom, Groupon, and 22 other companies, not including what I mentioned already, are raising money by selling shares or convertible notes, things like that. So that wave of people raising money at these high prices, which I think is smart, continues. So there you go. Also, the $3 trillion, what did they call it? Recovery plan or infrastructure plan or something like that, that was out yesterday. The White House says, well, wait a minute. That's a little premature for you to be getting excited about this. We're just talking about it. We're not looking to do anything, which is good, because yesterday it seemed like they were just going to rush through spending $3 trillion. And I mean, it takes me 10 minutes to pick out a cereal. I mean, at least we could take a minute and talk about $3 trillion. And I get the impression that it's likely going to be more from the comments that were made. So $3 trillion, they maybe just walked it back a little bit so they can go for 3.5, 3.4, somewhere in there. We'll see what happens as far as that goes. All right, tomorrow's earnings, you've got General Mills. Winnebago, I believe, is out tomorrow at some point. I think it's in the morning. KB Homes and Restoration Hardware, or RH, that really expensive furniture store that for some reason keeps selling furniture to people that probably can't afford the furniture. So there you go. All right, office trades. Let's do that real quick. Oh, the Home Depot. What's going on here? You're taking over my list. Who's Home Depot? Cody's short Home Depot. You don't think it's going to break out? Okay, so you think Lowe's will go and Home Depot will be the better one. You don't care about Lowe's, just want Home Depot to go lower. I don't blame you. Okay, there you go. And what's with this PayPal? This is the first I'm seeing of this. So short Home Depot, long PayPal, and looks like he does it by going way out of the money here, selling the 210 puts on PayPal. That's likely because they're going to have earnings coming up. I don't see the date. Maybe we can look it up real quick, but the reason you got so much for that is you're probably in the expiration that includes earnings. I don't know. I don't have a date for that for some reason, but we'll see. Okay. All right. So those are Cody's trades there. I'll take over the next one. We've got Discovery, which I'm short Viacom and Discovery. Obviously, I'm ecstatic today. I woke up just looking at all these positions and so excited about that one. So happy there. There we go. Walmart. Closed that one out today. So Walmart, I generally move a little bit faster. Got a 53% profit on that. I had the 125, 145 strangle, so a little bit off-centered there, but that's what I had going on with that one. We've got NRG, which Charlie, I believe, is still long. He's out. NRG. Oh, he is out. Okay, so NRG position closed today. Where'd you get out at? 35 cents. Okay, good profit there. About 50%?
I had 3 of them.
Oh, this was your sort of ratio strangle thing you were doing. Got it. Okay. Oh, nice. That was a good trade overall then. So a lot of positions sold today. For me, I'll hit the TLT real quick because I know some of you were interested in that. I had sold puts on TLT, just believed that rates were overdone. They've since recovered there. That trade is closed as well. And really the only thing I have at the moment is my Viacom, Discovery, and then the weird pairs trade that I did on value pulling back and growth starting to accelerate. That's actually working out perfect. Have a profit on both of those positions at the moment. Small profit, but it's actually working out where value is retracing a little bit and growth it was starting to catch up there even after today. So that's all I have left there. And you can see if you're following sort of the active trading side of what we do. Remember, we're long-term investors. We just like to trade a little bit and trade with clients and everything. So we're expanding on that. But if you're more of a short-term active trader, do you see what's happening today? Do you see how all of us are starting to just move more to cash, take some profits where we can, and then sit back and look for new ideas? That's what we hope to teach. That's kind of some of the stuff we hope to share with you, is that maybe now's not the best time to be flying in using all your capital if you're an active trader. So cool. I like sharing that with you guys, and I hope you enjoyed that. More to come. And all right, so that's all I have for you here today. Let's take some questions, see if you have any other questions, and we'll go from there. I love that this is like a little group. Everybody kind of gets to know the same people, and I love it. You think the Fed is running us hot? They're going to lose control. Well, they would like higher inflation. You know, they're very clear on that. The question is, can they get inflation that they're looking for and then stop or hopefully slow things down before it gets out of control? I think the days of sub 2% inflation, you have to assume, are pretty much behind us, right? I mean, you can see it. You can just see the stuff out there. It's incredible. I actually had a whole home sales presentation to do for you. Maybe we'll do tomorrow, but yeah, you can see it. It's coming. Yeah, I love it. You want what is it? IBM? Okay, so you're early. Okay, you're out in April. Okay, so you're looking for it to come down to 125. First of all, the lesson of the day. I'll make this the lesson for who was it there? Giovanni. You don't buy directional options that are not at the money. So what you did was you bought a 125 put that was out of the money, and you're hoping that it comes down to 125 by your expiration date. We don't do that. So it would be okay for you to buy a 130 put and have the mindset that you think it's going to 125, but your profit relative to the capital you're putting out is more efficient by buying an at-the-money put. Nobody does that, or an at-the-money call, I can even say. Nobody does that because they see the higher price tag. They don't recognize that there's the difference there. So one of the things I hope to expand on, don't buy at-the-money options, or don't buy out-of-the-money options. Yep. XLE pullback's looking attractive now. That's the next place we're going. Yep. So you know that as places start to pull back that were otherwise strong, financials as well, if you've been around for a while, you know that now tomorrow and the next day and stuff, that's where the focus starts to go. And so there you go. Thoughts that stay-at-home stocks making a comeback? I think it's too soon. Yep, I think it's too soon because right now there's a rotation into staples. It's okay if some people just want to hedge their bets or do whatever, but when you have this rotation going that way, you need some reason for those other stocks to come back into favor, and I don't see that right now. So we'll see. Yep. Paul got his coffee cup. Nice. Coffee cups, by the way, are about halfway sold out for the moment, and they're not even public. Are they going to be public? I fixed the picture. Okay, I did my part. So I made a typo on the homepage there, but they can go up on the site today then. Okay. I love it. Cool. Finally, let's get rid of these things. Like, how much are they? Do we know? Oh, you broke one.
Yeah, broken shipping.
Anybody want to buy a broken one? Half off? Cody says half off. I like it. How do you get access to the classes? I mentioned the one with at-the-money options. Right now, I don't mean to tease it, but we are not taking new clients right now. We're building out more interesting things that are private and proprietary to us. But those are available for clients. So you can join a waiting list if you like. That's not a gimmick. It's a genuine waiting list. We do want to accept new clients. Just right now, we decided to maybe hold off on that, build everything, make sure it's right. and then start accepting new clients. And then you can, of course, come to the classes, see the archives as well. So you won't miss anything if you join a month from now or whatever. All the archives are always there and sortable and searchable and everything. Yep. What area will benefit during this turbulent movement? I wouldn't call this turbulent, to be honest, unless you're maybe talking Russell 2000, but it's not turbulent. We're just sort of back and forth inside of here. Look at the grand scheme of things here. Is what's happened over the last few days turbulent relative to what could happen? I don't think so. So I think it's early to say turbulent. Therefore, it's early to start looking for what might do better in a turbulent time, because we're not there. Yep. I love it. We got to come up with an NFT of some kind. You know what I mean?
A lot of comments on that.
Yeah, we got to do something there.
They're called nifties, Dustin.
It's a nifty. I was telling them the other day. I'm like, it's nifties, guys. You don't say
NFT.
it's not NFT, but it's a nifty. That's what the kids say. Yeah. $2 for the broken coffee mug. Sold. Oh, plus shipping. It's stupid shipping. It's like $4, right? Yeah. Or $5 depending on where you live, huh? Where do you see REITs going? We covered REITs earlier. So REITs is very much, like I said, stock pickers type area right now. The action and excitement and consistency is in the apartment builders. You could also look in the digital, what do you call them? Cloud space REITs, digital realty, things like that. American Tower, if you want to play that game. So that's where I would be looking. I don't like it as a sector just yet. Yep. Favorite Nintendo game? I'm a sucker for Mario 3. You know, Mario 1, I know all the cheats and everything. Mario 2, I never really gravitated towards. Mario 3, man. The original Mario 3. That's where it's at for me. Yep. Or sort of a sucker for Contra, right? How can you not like Contra if you're from my age group there? Yeah. Now I'm going to have to go home and play games all night. Thoughts on Plantair? We don't actually look at those. So it's a new IPO. It's less than 200 days old. And for that reason, we don't look at it. Once it becomes over 200 days old, we've done this in the past. Statistically, you can rely more on the chart patterns, the technical analysis, because you start to get those types of traders to come and play, usually. And so for that reason, I stay away from them until I know that other people playing them will have technical biases more so than just they want to buy it because they want to buy it. You're also usually past lockup periods for the most part, and so you don't have to deal with all of that. So I let it play out, and just get it out of the way. Yeah. You think the banks will reach the 50-day on this pullback here? I do. I think that's an easy one to assume. It's not that much further to go. If you were looking for an area to start, I would believe that it would make it back there. No problem. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You heard some commentators saying that the indices not being in sync, Dow, NASDAQ, is this a sign of illiquid markets? No, it's a sign of the top 5 or 6 stocks just not playing together. What'd you have today? You had, was it Netflix that was higher today? You got Adobe higher on the day. I think we did Microsoft. Amazon was higher on the day. And Alphabet. And then you turn around, look on the downside there, and you've got... who was the downside one? I remember looking at this earlier. Not that they were big moves or anything, but on the downside, you got now Intel, which is not crazy. It's not the one I'm looking for here. Who was down today? So when you look through things like that, they're not moving together. Those top 5, right? Today they were split. That causes the indices to be split as well because they're heavily weighted in the S&P 500 and not so much in, for example, like the Dow, which is just weighted differently. So I think that's the real reason. We went through a long period of time there where those 5 or 6 stocks, Tesla included, were all moving together, which dragged everything up together because of the weight in the NASDAQ and the S&P 500. It's not the case anymore. They're sort of all over the place compared to each other. And so I think that's the reason there. I don't think it has anything to do with liquidity. Going to Tampa or St. Pete this summer? Come on down. Yeah. Just another person driving on the roads. Huh? Come pull up behind or in front of me and start slowing down. Turn your blinker on like a mile before you're ready to turn. Can you tell? Can you tell us Floridians are kind of like, hey, What's going on here? Oh, Doc knows. Doc knows. Yeah, you just showed your age, bud. Oh, man. 2 factories in Arizona for Intel. Yes, saw that this morning. It's going to be a long time, right? You hope, and as an American, right, you hope that they take market share back and we bring that stuff back here to the U.S. I'm just one of those guys, right? Let's just make it. We're a huge country. Come on, let's get to work. But it's going to be a while. This whole semiconductor issue and everything, we're moving in the right direction, but you're talking a long time. So I would not personally be excited by falling for any of this excitement that you see in Intel. I think you let it relax, right? You have plenty of time to participate. It's like 5G. Everybody's like, got to get on 5G. Where's it at? Right? It's still working its way out, getting mainstream and everything, and that's years in the making. So you've got time. Yep, I love it. Hey, well, I'll wrap it up there because got work to do and stuff. While we were talking, GameStop falls down to 159, so down $22 after hours, 12.5%. I'll bet you anything. I'm just curious. I'll have to look it up. But I'll bet you they're going to raise some money. And I agree with them. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Got you fired all up about people driving around in your towns there using blinkers. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. And we'll see you tomorrow. Adios.